This week, I've been seeing a lot of news about the AI. There was this stuff I saw yesterday, and it blew my mind. The Kenyan protest anthem. That's what I'm choosing to call it, right?
Hold on. Before we get there, because this is interesting.
Right.
Because I think AI is so broad, and we kind of set out that we're going to have talk about AI in different industries. Mm-hmm. And we chose music as the first industry. A couple of nights ago, we chose music.
Yeah.
But interesting enough, you found something really interesting that you sent to me today. Yeah. From a really unlikely source. So let's talk about this article that you sent me.
Yeah, so based on what we talked about 2 nights ago, right? And we're talking about, AI and music and how that would change the game. And then I'm browsing and I see this anthem that was being played loudly during the protests, mm-hmm. In front of the parliament. And I realized these guys wrote the song with AI, and they did it just 3 days ago while they were planning the protests for the finance bill 2024. Yeah. And it was like, wow, the lyrics were so good. The production seemed like they had planned it a year ago. I'm sure like even the politicians were wondering like, when did they have time to do all of this stuff so soon? And it really mind-blowing. So tell me, like, I saw it and I was like, no, I need to show Martin this. Like, Martin needs to tell me, number one, how did they get the lyrics in there? How did they get the beats in there? Like, I needed to. So tell me, how do you go from organizing the protest to actually having an anthem for that protest just with AI? Tell me some of the tools that is possible for anybody to use, right? Or is it a paid app? What exactly was going on?
Yeah, so I just realized, first of all, maybe because we're in Kenya, we know what the Reject Finance Bill protest was about. Yeah. But just for context, for maybe the people watching who might not know, mm-hmm. The parliament or the government of Kenya is essentially trying to pass a bill that's going to raise taxes on pretty much everything in the country. It's going to raise the cost of living for the people.
For most people.
And this is definitely going to affect, the way of life of most people. Now, I've been in Kenya for a year now, and I've seen mandamano after mandamano, which is their word for like an uprising or protest.
Right.
And typically, this was the older generation that was involved in these. I think what's interesting here is that for the first time, you're having these Gen Z millennials, this much younger generation heavily involved in the protests. And to that point, I think that's why we're seeing the emergence of AI in the protests. Now, this article is really cool, and I encourage people to read it. It's from Pulse Live. That's the one that you sent me. Yep. And the heading is AI and Tech Tools Birth New Era of Activism by Gen Z and Millennials in Kenya. And it goes on to say, the song created by artificial intelligence using contents of the Finance Bill 2024 has received close to 1 million views on different social media platforms where it was shared.
That's 24 hours.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Because it happened yesterday.
Yeah, it was just yesterday. Yeah. And it's crazy. I did some research. I had to, because I was just like, where is this coming from? Who made this? Who created this song? So first of all, it turns out that there's a guy that created GPT to inform people about the finance bill. Something like they could ask questions about what's in the bill, and then it would give answers and so on and so forth. I'm told it's at least from my research, Ndemo Calvin. On X, that's the guy.
Is the guy for the music or the guy?
No. For the GPT.
The GPT. Okay.
And here's why I'm telling you this. Okay. So it turns out the guy who created the song, and I don't know if I should attribute it because this is the user that I see that posted it, called Droid on X, Droid254.
Right.
And he says, I asked at Ndemo Calvin's GPT to make me lyrics on why we should reject the finance bill, and use a couple of other platforms to make a song.
Interesting.
Right. So now this is not just one AI tool being used.
It's it's stacked.
It's different AI.
Yeah. So it's GPT first, and then the song go on, and so it's like a stacked AI.
Yeah. So this Ndemo Calvin apparently might have taken ChatGPT and then trained it on the finance bill specifically,
right?
So that people could ask it in natural language and get to learn about it.
Yeah.
And the same GPT created the lyrics for the song, which we both agreed are brilliant, and we'll play it in a bit for people to hear.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is then he took those lyrics and then fed it into another AI, which is a music generator, maybe
Right.
even a couple of them. I don't know how this one in particular was created. And voila, beautiful song.
Beautiful song. With the bridge and the chorus and the hook. And I was like, my.
Those lyrics.
Yeah, like, why? I mean, like 1 million views. I just can't get my head around it like so quickly.
Yeah, so I'm going to play just like a short bit of the song from the start, and then we'll post in the link, the full song.
Oh, by all means, we should.
Yeah, so here it is.
We wake up every day feeling the strain. These new taxes bringing more pain. They promised us change, a brighter tomorrow, but all they brought was financial sorrow. They say it's for the good, for the country's good,
Wow, that's dope.
but we can't see
The voice.
light, we're losing hope. From the common folk to the working man, we stand together and take a stand. Reject the finance bill, we say no more.
Reject that finance
That's
bill.
beautiful. I like, and then there's that infusion. You hear the Swahili being spoken there. Like, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
let's
can
forward it
speak-
to Swahili, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, here. Hatutaki. This part.
Sweet.
Wow, that's,
Sweet. Like,
I mean,
this is music.
music.
This is music.
Yeah.
Like, so previously during maybe campaigns, election campaigns, you'll have to get like artists to bring them together, pay them a bunch of money, let's come up with something like this.
Yeah.
And it'll probably take them 3 weeks or a month to do this mastering, all of that.
Yeah.
And this, how long do you reckon this will take?
Look, I've played with it.
Yeah.
Some of the tools, and I'll say like there's some really good tracks I think I've made in under 15 minutes.
15.
Yeah.
15
1-5.
minutes.
It takes about two minutes to generate a clip that's, let's just say, about 1 minute long. And then you're going to need to reiterate. Maybe you don't like this version, and then you're going to create another one. And then you stitch them together. 15 minutes, you have full production.
A full production, like it sounds mastered, everything. Like,
Yeah.
So a cousin of mine has a record label, and I know like for a real like song that he's doing with his boys, probably take 2-3 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. So this 15 minutes just sounds surreal, and so I want to ask you the question: what's the impact of this on regular musicians, people putting out songs? What do you think the impact of this will be? Because whose voice is this now, and who owns that voice? Is it the guy that's put in the lyrics? What's this about?